Hey guys, Chart Stoppers back with another video. In this channel we take a look at different stocks and map out their key support and resistance areas on their chart. It's important to know these areas before you buy any stock, and it's also important to know what kind of a trend a stock is in before you buy into it. Support and resistance is one of the most important things you should know about a stock before you either buy or sell. And also, if you're doing any day trading, swing trading, or options trading, you're definitely going to want to get familiar with support and resistance, and also this channel. And just to let you guys know, I am not a financial expert. These videos are for educational purposes only, but I am here to point out key factors on the charts which do impact the price action of a stock. I also provided a link for Webull. You could use that to start an account and you'll get 2 free stocks. I provided a link also for Robinhood in the description. You could use that to start an account and you'll get 1 free stock. And just to let you know, we will be doing 3 videos per week on 3 different stocks. So if you have a recommendation for a video, leave a comment below and I will try to get to that. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and have your notifications on so you don't miss out on any new content here. Okay, so today is July 30th, 2021. It is the last trading day of July before we move into August. It is Friday. And you can see here the S&P 500 is down 0.64% today. The Dow is down a little over 0.5% today. And the NASDAQ is doing the worst today, down 0.82%. So not a good Friday. Everything is kind of selling off today. Not much happening in the market. Let's take a look at the stock I wanted to take a look at today. I wanted to go over Tesla, and I've done a couple videos on Tesla before. I'll provide a link in the upper right hand corner to one of them. You should be seeing that now, and you could go back, check that out, and see how I got to my where my chart is today. But right now, Tesla is currently trading at about $683. It's up on the day, around $5.70. Which is the equivalent of about 0.85%. So it's up almost 1% today. It was up way more. It was actually up around $700 today. Almost made it up to that point, and then it sold off once it got close there. So that's something to keep in mind in the future. In the past week, it is up around 5%, almost 5% in the past week. In the past month, we are up 0.64% currently. And in the past 3 months, the stock is up a little over 2.3%. And in the past year, this thing is up almost 130%, around 129.5% gain if you bought in a year ago, okay? And this stock has had its ups and downs recently. A lot of bad press recently. Not a lot of good catalysts to go forward with, and the stock price has reflected that, as you can see on the chart here. They did recently just have earnings, which were last week, and you could see here, the earnings were a blowout quarter. They produced really good numbers, and, the stock is being rewarded right now because of that. You could see here, we did hit a 52-week high of $900.40, and we hit that on January 25th of earlier this year. So right in the beginning of the year, and about right after that, we tried to consolidate in that area, and we could not, and ended up selling off the stock around the beginning of February. Here is where we saw a sharp decline in this stock. It finally bottomed out right around here in March. And that was around $560. That's where I have a support line drawn. You could see it has hit off that support line a couple times here. We had a little bit of consolidation on the way up around that support area. So, it's only fitting that it came back down to make a nice bounce off of there during this correction we just had in the NASDAQ. Okay, and you could see a little bit of a recovery after that bounce. We got back up to around $780, and that's where we saw the stock sell off again, dropping back down to that $560 support line there, okay? We had another bounce off of there, went up to around $700 here, and this was in, the end of June, beginning of July here. We were trading up around that $700 mark again, only to sell off and fall back down. Now this time we did not quite fall down to that support area because our 200-day moving average has been following this stock as it's been consolidating lately. And you could see, we did fall below our 200-day moving average during the lows in May for a couple days here, but all in all, it's kind of been consolidating around that 200-day moving average. It's not falling really below there, or it's not really rising above there too much. It's kind of just consolidating right around that 200-day moving average, and just waiting for the next catalyst here. And hopefully this last earnings report could be the next catalyst to get some momentum behind this stock. As we've seen in the past couple days, it's been on a nice little run here after the earnings, okay? Just want to point out on my chart here as I zoom out, you could see this green trend line, okay? And this has been, this stock price has been following this green trend line since around March of last year. I connected it with the lows of COVID, and it's kind of been a perfect trend line up. It's been hitting off that trend line, since the lows of COVID. We returned to the trend line here. I connected it to the lows of May here because I did have it connected all the way with this low. We ended up breaking the trend line here, so I had to move it back, move it down to connect with this low of the correction. So this double bottom here is what broke, the first time it hit this support is what broke the trend going up. So we had to move it down here to this low of May here during the correction, and it's been following it up ever since. As you can see, it's consolidating tightly on that trend line going up. And just recently, you could see I have a red trend line here, okay? This is the trend, the downtrend it has been following since hitting those all-time highs back in January here, this red trend line. And you could see, it's been consolidating in this area against both trend lines in a nice little channel here between this resistance and this support. So you could see it's been hitting off of this resistance up around $700 and our trend line. And it's been supported by this green trend line moving up. And also, whoops, I accidentally moved my resistance line there. I'll move that back. It's been supported by this green trend line and this support level around 560 to push it upwards, okay? And also our 200-day moving average is a big factor in that too, to support this stock. Now, one thing I wanted to point out is just recently, you could see I have my 50-day moving average here in the blue line, okay? This is my blue 50-day moving average. My 200-day moving average is here in the yellow. Okay, so our trend line pretty much follows our 200-day moving average on our way up, as you can see going back to the lows of COVID where I started it. But our 50-day moving average, it was acting as resistance for a while here, and you could see we had a death cross recently. And what's a death cross, you ask? Well, that's when the 50-day moving average falls below the 200-day moving average. Okay, and a lot of people, a lot of traders or investors say that's a very bearish sign, and it, forecasts more bearish sentiment in the stock to come, okay, after you see the 50-day moving average cross below the 200-day moving average. But it looks like the opposite happened here, and it looks like the stock regained support above that 50-day moving average once it crossed below that 200-day moving average. And you could see it looks like the 50-day moving average is about to curl up and cross back above that 200-day moving average. So we'll have to wait and see on that one, but that's what looks like it's going to happen. And also I wanted to point out, you could see where my two trend lines come together here. We had, it looked like a couple weeks. We had about 2 weeks before this stock had to make a move and had to make a decision on which trend it was going to continue to follow. Either it was going to follow this downtrend and continue its downward movement with lower highs and lower lows, or is it going to continue on this uptrend here along my green line and continue with higher highs and higher lows. And it looks like we have broken out of our red trend line, our downtrend. these past couple days. You can see here on Thursday, we broke out, closed the day above there, and today it looks like we are holding above there, okay? And you can see today's candle, we traded all the way up to $700 almost, around, a couple dollars less, but it did sell off after hitting that. So keep an eye on that resistance point at $700 moving forward, because that's going to be pretty big if we break that, and that will become support if we are able to break above that $700 level. But for now, it is good that we broke out of this downtrend line, and it looks like we are going to continue to follow our green trend line upwards. All right, so we have the 21-day moving average as support right here in the light blue. We have our 8-day in the white, which is support, our 30-day in the green, supporting our stock, and 50-day down here, and 200-day, all underneath where the price is now. So it looks like those will act as support going forward. I'm just going to switch over to my weekly chart, see what's going on here, and you could see a nice green candle here, and it looks like we got stopped out by our 30-day moving average on our weekly chart, which is right at our support or our resistance line up there at $700. So that looks like it's been holding this stock back for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. We have ran into that, or actually, it's looks like 4 out of the 6 weeks we have ran up to that 30-day moving average on our weekly chart, and we got rejected off of that. So keep an eye on that 30-day moving average, the one in the green, on our weekly chart, because that is acting as strong resistance there. All right, and you can see we're being supported by our 8-day moving average on our weekly chart here in the white, and our 21-day moving average we just got above this week in the light blue. So hopefully we can continue to hold those moving averages and ultimately get above our 30-day moving average, which is acting as resistance. All right, I'm just going to switch back over to our 4-hour chart, see what's going on there. And it looks like on our 4-hour chart, our 50-day moving average has crossed above the 200-day moving average. So that's a very good sign. You could see here when it fell below our 200-day moving average, we did have more downside over here. And looks like we had a nice bounce off of our support, like I said. And now our 50-day moving average is crossing above the 200-day. So that is also a bullish sign. And we're going to wait for confirmation on that on our daily chart here. As you can see, it's starting to curl up and make its move back towards that 200-day moving average. So once we get confirmation on that, that will provide some more bullish sentiment behind this stock and hopefully continue this uptrend for Tesla after this nice earnings report they just came out with. Okay, so that's my breakdown on Tesla's chart. I just wanted to give a nice update on this one after earnings. If you guys like the video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also have your notifications on so you don't miss out on any new content here. And I want to thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time on Chart Stoppers.